it's Ayla Melendez, aka Real Estate, and I'm your host of the Chronicles R.E.I. edition. Today we're here with episode 7, and we have Chris Beal with EXP. Chris, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I know you're full of energy, so I'm excited to talk to you.
5-hour energy, kind of getting ready for this.
Is this the peak hour of the 5 hour?
It's like 30 minutes ago. I'm good for a minute.
Okay, let's keep it going then. Who are you as a person outside of real estate?
So family, of course, married with a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of real estate, not a whole lot of hobbies. I've always been pretty much a workaholic.
Oh, wow.
So ride motorcycles, collect bourbon, just stuff I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about it.
What kind of bourbon do you collect?
Oh, that's a scary question. So,
Is the
my wife will say
variety
too
that
much.
wide? Okay.
now I think there's probably 600 bottles at the house.
Oh, wow.
Something like that. Yeah, it's a pretty eclectic collection.
And are some of those like collectibles, or do you actually try every single one?
No, there's definitely some collectibles.
Okay.
I have a rough price point of what I'll open and what I won't.
Okay.
And definitely some of them are more bougie than I'm willing to be. Basically, the juice can't be that good in there for that money. So
I trust it. I trust it. And before you got into the real estate game, you did car sales. Is that correct?
yeah, I sold cars for about a year, and that's been 15 years in auto finance here in San Antonio.
Got it. Okay. So what have you taken from the car sales business or even the finance business that helped you exceed in real estate?
Really, I think what helped with that is having a very variety of customers who come in and clients that you really get to know different personalities and how to adapt and help those people and what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're in the car sales or any high energy sales,
Mm-hmm.
and you're meeting a lot of different people, you start to tailor to what they're expecting and how to best to help them, their style.
Yeah.
Being in finance, of course, I've been negotiating for 15 years pretty religiously. So good with numbers, good with negotiations, realizing what it takes to figure out what the other side wants to win. That way you make sure you get what you want to win.
Yeah.
So things like that.
Mm-hmm. And what made you make that jump from the car business to real estate?
I thought about it for a long time. Probably my daughter was the biggest thing.
Uh-huh.
My daughter at the time, she's 14 now, so she, doesn't really think I'm that cool. Supposedly they come back around. Yeah. But she was probably around 10, and I did the first staycation I'd ever done.
Uh-huh.
So we stayed home for a week and just had some stuff going around the house, because normally we'd travel out of country or do something exciting because I didn't get a lot of vacation.
Uh-huh.
But after that staycation, I realized how much I was missing day to day at home, and just figured if I was ever going to make that jump, now was the time, right? Honestly, I didn't know I was getting into real estate. I just made the jump, put my 2 weeks in. They're like, you'll be back. I'm like, no.
Oh, wow.
Went home, after my 2 weeks, and my wife's like, what are you going to do now? I'm like, I don't know. I probably should figure that out. So I hopped on my wife actually gave me a cool blessing.
Uh-huh.
So I get home. She's like, what do you do? I'm like, I need to go figure that out. I was kind of wanting to do a bucket list trip. She's like, what do you want to do? I'll hop on my heart. I just want to go. She's like, all right, go. I was floored. I did not see that coming. I figured I'd make the argument.
That was too easy.
Well, I thought I was going to lose the argument. I was prepared to lose. It was a big ask, right? So had she just balked a little, I'd be like, all right, never mind. My bad. But she's like, go. I'm like, okay. I start packing. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm leaving in the morning. She's like, you're leaving tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, before you change your mind. So I did a 3,800 mile solo.
Wow.
I went from here, like camping at Crane Canyons, then went to Vegas, then Tombstone, Arizona, back to Carlsbad Cavern, back.
Wow.
Came back looking rough.
The Carlsbad Caverns is so fun. I love caverns.
It is, isn't it?
I love it.
Have you
Isn't
been
that
to
like
that
one
one?
of the...
Yeah.
Isn't it like the most massive one? It's like 750 feet.
I think it is. The biggest one in the United States, at least.
Yeah.
No, it's absolutely gorgeous in there.
I loved it.
Yeah, I came back about halfway through. I started listening to Gary Keller's millionaire real estate agent. And I came back. I was like, I can do that. Hold on. So,
And that's the book that they give you.
it was. Yeah. So that's part of why I probably went to Keller Williams first, before I switched over to EXP.
It made sense.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what? This book changed my mindset. Let me see what the company's about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. And I know you mentioned that you loved motorcycles and adventure. How'd you come up with that 2,600 mile trip to Mexico? Like, what made you want to?
Trip. So a friend of mine, Dan, had found this trip on Instagram last year called the Mezcal Motor Rally. They have a YouTube channel with a movie about it every year, so it's pretty cool. But he found it and decided he wanted to go do it. And he told me about a week before that.
Oh, wow.
Right? And I was like, dude, are you out of your mind? Mexico? Come on, dude. And he's like, no, I'm going. I was like, well, I can't let you go alone. We're too good of friends. I can't let you do that. So hopped on the one bike I had at the time and basically just went. I tried talking him out of it. I offered to go to Alaska. I would pay for all the hotels, pay for the gas. I'd pay for everything. We just, let's go to Alaska instead. And he wouldn't give it up. And we went last year. And then went again this year. It's once you do it once, it's very addicting.
Did you get any deep meaning or learn anything from that trip?
Everybody's super friendly. I mean, really. We think we have good tacos. Dude. The best tacos in Mexico are found on the side of the road. The worse looking the shack, the better the tacos.
I agree. If it looks clean, it's not gonna.
Yeah, it's not gonna fly, dude. They got health and safety. I don't want a part of that. Thank you.
The fact that y'all got inspected, no. I'm the same way. I'm always going to a mom and pop place. I'm like, well, it looks dirty. I'm gonna try it.
Exactly. It's like,
risky with food.
That leftover grease, man, is where all the flavors at.
Right. Especially if it's dripping in the bag, like it's meant to go. What about taking adventures? Pretty much just grabs your attention. Like, what do you have? What connection do you have with that?
Just always been adventurous. I grew up in East Texas and Texarkana. Moved around a lot with my parents. Divorced, going back and forth and that. So I've always just liked new experiences. Then I joined the military, moved to Germany for 4 years, so traveled a lot then.
Wow.
Now just, you only live once, see all the world you can. That's always been my philosophy.
Wow. So the military introduced you to even more traveling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we traveled a lot. Lived in Nigeria for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Well, it was a mission thing. I was with the bomb squad at the time. They had an ammo dump blow up, so we went to help them clean it up. But, still cool seeing a completely different culture that I was used to, of course.
You say it so casually. I was on the bomb squad.
But no, just looking back at it, I still wanted to do the Great Barrier Reef, and just one of these days when you're sitting there and not able to do that stuff, you're going to wish you did.
Very true. Especially whenever you're young and still energetic, and then your kids get to learn through it too. It's like a blessing, because it's a lot simple for like an adult to travel, but when you can take your kids, that's a blessing.
Oh yeah. I mean, growing up, we didn't travel a lot. We were relatively not capable of it, right? Financially. So my daughter's traveled all over. I mean, we just went to Europe for 2 weeks and bounced around Europe for 2 weeks for Christmas.
Oh, wow.
Took her to Paris and London and Munich, just all over the place.
Wow. I love that. And in real estate right now, what are you currently working on? Do you have like a team at EXP?
I do. It's primarily me, but I have 2 junior agents who are training up. One of them's been with me for a little over a year. The other one came on board just a couple months ago. So working on them, trying to get them started, get their business moving better. And that's about it.
So it's teaching you a lot of leadership skills, managing them.
Yeah. It's definitely teaching me as much as teaching them, for sure.
I'm sure you're confident with this.
Yeah, you just realize everybody's not maybe as motivated as yourself, right? But they have other talents, right? So trying to use those talents to the best of their ability and to help the team, of course. It is a team effort. So.
And how many people are you looking to get underneath you?
Let me figure these 2 out first, and we'll go on. Well, a lot of people like develop these massive teams super quick. It's just not what I wanted, right? I don't necessarily want a team of 100 agents.
Yeah.
Because to me, that would just drive me nuts. Because I do invest so much personally in each one, or try to. And, if they call, I'm always trying to answer a call right back. With 100 agents, could you imagine ever trying to do anything else?
I know. Plus quality over quantity too. So if you can train those up, you might be better off.
Well, and it's a reputation for the business. With 100 agents, if you have 10 of them who are doing the wrong thing, that's your reputation. That's your business you're building. I'd much rather have, 2 to 5 maybe of really great agents, and the reputation they'll go with that.
And last year you closed, was it over 20 million in revenue?
Yeah, last year I think was 24 million.
Oh, wow.
It was down from the year before. It was 27 the year before, my second year.
What was your routine like for you to get to that number?
Sleep when you can.
When you can, keyword.
No, it's just, it was a blessing for a lot of people in real estate. When COVID happened, we all know that, I always joke that everybody's supposed to be 6 feet apart, but they want their houses 600 feet apart or 6,000 feet apart now, right? So everybody's moving outside the city more, wanting a little more land, bigger houses, where they realize they're working from home, need multiple offices, whatever the case may be. So I was blessed to have a lot of people from the car business, the years I worked there with a good reputation, to reach out to me and trust me. And then a lot of new people I'd met since then, just helping them make their dreams happen, be a part of their story.
That's a huge number, 24 million.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
Do you have a bigger goal for this year?
I'd be happy this year to just hit the same number, to be honest. I'm a realist. But of course, my number last year was 18 million. I did 24. So once I hit the number, I don't actually look that. Yes, I keep track of them, but when I hit the number, I don't stop. You just keep going, and whatever happens, happens.
I love that. I love that. Do you have any books that you've read along the way that genuinely changed your mindset? Other than that, the one from Keller Williams.
So I should read more. You hear the good things about that, but a lot of YouTube videos.
Oh, well, hey, that's equally as valuable. Like these days, you don't need to buy a book. You don't need to read a book. You can listen to audio as much as you drive.
Yeah, audiobooks, stuff like that. But, whether I'm driving between appointments, this and that, a lot of times I'll listen to things in the car is most of my free time.
Has anything stood out that helped you? Or just even an individual?
I think I've listened to Millionaire Real Estate Agent probably 3 times now.
Oh, wow.
Just because the very first time when I wasn't even in real estate, you don't understand the concepts. You don't get it.
Yeah.
And then the second time, you get more stuff. Third time, you get even more. But there's that one. I forgot the name of it.
Or just even like a motivational.
Yeah, it's like Make Your Bed in the Morning or something. It's from a military guy. Can't remember the name now. It's been probably about 8 months since I listened to it. But it was real good, just about getting up, getting things done,
Got it.
Not just letting things slack.
Yeah. What are you actually doing differently that actually got you to reach that high number in revenue?
Self-drive on that one's probably a big thing. I came from the last career was very financially stable for me. So when I left it was pretty risky because I didn't leave the bills that came with 15 years of making that kind of money. I kept those.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't necessarily the best planned out escape, but it did work. And I was motivated not to have to go back to that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've got to make this work.
Yeah.
Plus everybody was like, you'll be back. You can't leave this money. I was like, hold on, watch this.
Right. It just gave you more drive to prove them wrong. And I'm sure they follow you on Facebook and everything now.
Yeah. On the beach, if you bet me something, I'm like, oh dude, I'm going to win this. I was like, I'm going to kill myself trying.
That's all the motivation you need just to prove somebody wrong. Be like, the revenue was the bonus, but you proved them wrong. That was the real reward.
Yeah, I didn't, honestly, the last couple of years, or the whole time really, I didn't really look at the money. I just figured if you kept doing the right thing, the money will happen. And it has. Yeah.
That's a great mindset to have with it. Do you have any tips for anyone that can help out with sales?
I mean, it's a standard stuff we always joke about, answer your phone, call people back. There's still a lot of that. Just be there to help them. Just let them know that you truly are on their side and whatever's best for them. I don't know how many clients I tell, they're like, well, what do you think? Should we put an offer on it? I'm like, that's your call. The military guy in me, and right, I take orders. Well, if you say, this is the house, we're doing it, right? Well, then we're doing it. But at the same time, I need you to come to that decision. All decisions are made by my clients, not by me. I'm just there for guidance, advice, expertise, negotiations, but I'm not living there and I'm not buying it. So you tell me, are we or are we not?
I love how you live by that fiduciary duty, because I've personally come across a lot of realtors to where they kind of put their opinion on it, what they're not supposed to do. So
no, and I tell most of my clients, I was just talking to one the other day. I'm like, what do you think? I'm like, I tell them the exact thing. I'm like, hey, I'm here for your guidance. I'm here for this. I was like, I'll give you my personal opinion on it, but I will not make your decision. Because ultimately, once you make that decision, you have to live with it for 30 to 45 days just till we close.
Yep.
Then with the whole rest of the time, I was like, you need to be very sure that this is what you want to do. And if so, we'll make it happen.
Yeah, I agree. And I know you mentioned that you have a little bit of competitiveness in you. Where does that stem from? Have you always been that way since a child? Or?
Yeah, I was fairly competitive. I think 16 years of the car business is a very competitive business.
Okay.
It's hero to zero every month, right? It doesn't matter what you did last month. What have you done this month?
Yeah.
You could have been the number one salesman 18 months in a row.
It just restarts every month.
You have a bad month, they're like, oh, you're on the chopping block. So it's a little cutthroat.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. It's just cutthroat. It kind of built you for it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Whenever you were in the military, did you learn anything from that experience that kind of molded you to the person you are today?
I did. So when I went to join the military, I have a funny story. Took about a year off of high school. I'd had a scholarship. I blew off to go to college. Took about a year off and then decided that, oh crap, I made the wrong choice. I probably should have done something.
Why do you think that was the wrong choice?
I just heading down a bad path and, hang out with the wrong people kind of things. And I realized it's not going to go well for me. So went to join the military and went to join the Army. They promised me, you can have any job you want, right? You missed one question on the ASVAB, you qualify for whatever you want. I'm like, great. So we go to MEPS and they're like, what do you want to do? I want to be an accountant. I'm kind of good with numbers. They tell me they don't have accountants. They offer me all these other jobs and then they offer me a supply. They're like, they're accountable. I was like, I guess that's close.
You can count something.
Yeah. But that actually did help because, that was the start of making deals my entire life. Because in supply, it's, I have a case of MREs, you got a case of Mind Pros. Let's talk about it. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Building the negotiations from day one. So
man, so everything you've been a part of, you had to negotiate from problem solve pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. So I do
It's
think
first-hand nature.
Well, that's a super talent. Like I tell people, I'm a pretty good firefighter, right? If you have problems, you're freaking out, like just give me an hour, I'll figure it out, right? I will find a solution. You may or may not like it, but I'll find a way to fix it. So
right, you're gonna get it done by any means.
Yeah.
And when it comes to your family, what kind of work-family balance do you have?
It's definitely better than it used to be in the car business because there's always holidays and weekends. But last night, to brag, my daughter got the Presidential Academic Achievement Award.
Wow.
Basically, for having all A's the whole year and all that. So I was able to go to that last night. To bless my wife, I had to go do some family emergency stuff with her mom. But I was able to go and take my daughter to that and be a part of that and see the pictures. Whereas, before, being that yesterday was the last day of the month, in the car business, there was not a chance in the world I would have got out of there for that. They'd have been like, tough luck. So,
wow, that's a huge change then. Wow.
So, and then again, going to Europe for 2 weeks, for Christmas, there's no way I could have got that kind of time off. So,
wow,
that's been pretty cool.
Well, congratulations to her. It's good that I love hearing stories when people get into real estate and it betters the quality of their life for the simple fact that they have the freedom, the time freedom, because.
And you do. I mean, if it's something like that where you block it off, but a lot of people get into real estate and I find that they think they have all this magical freedom. Like, I'm going to work my schedule. I'll show houses when I feel like it. I'm like, well, then you're not going to sell any houses because you really are on other people's schedule. If it's super important, yeah, you can block it off, hopefully get around this or that. But in general, you need to go with the mindset that you are there serving other people. What typically on the weekends and the evenings is when they're off. Well, if you want them to buy the house, they're going to need that job. So let's work around that job for them.
I agree. Are you also on the investment side of real estate too?
No, that's something I'm looking to get into in the next couple of years.
Got it.
I wanted to really get down this first part of it, be confident what I was doing there and then get into the personal investment side.
I love that. And what made you choose EXP as like your first brokerage to go with?
First off, let me preface with I love EXP, right? It's been a great company for me. I didn't know any better.
Okay.
I recruited myself to EXP.
Oh, wow.
I didn't get recruited.
That's very rare.
Yeah, I know. That's why I figured like that. So a couple of people I knew at Keller Williams had moved over to EXP. I was on 5-6 months. I started looking at, the math, right? And the way I wanted the math to work out. So I called a friend who'd gone over there. Mind you, I'd only sold, my first 6 months, I sold maybe 5 houses, that startup period.
That's huge.
It didn't feel huge, trust me, not with the bills. It felt very unhuge. I was still living on savings. But I called my friend who had gone to EXP and it's like, hey, can you tell me about, how's that structure work over there? He tells me, I was like, well, can anybody join? He's like, yeah, I mean, if you want to, I guess, right? He's like, well, if you do, just put my name on it. I'm like, okay, can you send me the link? So I signed up, put his name on it.
Wow.
And then, right, pretty quick after that is when business started to pick up for me, from the work I'd put in before, of course, the pipeline.
Yeah. What was that work like whenever you were building your own pipeline?
Lots of social media posts, letting my sphere of influence know and things like that. I did invest into Zillow a little bit in the beginning. Still do, but that's pretty much it. Just nurturing all those leads that came in over that 6 months. Anybody who even mentioned like, oh, I lost my key. You want me to get your house? I got new keys. I'm just saying. They come with brand new keys, right?
That's a perfect comeback. What? You don't need those keys. Just buy a new house. What?
You'll have new keys, dude. You'll
Multiple doors.
Get 2. I'll make you an extra.
So what's next for you in real estate? I know you said you wanted to get into investment, but do you have anything lined up?
Not currently, no. So for the summer, we're coming to the busy season, right, for San Antonio. So just helping clients throughout the rest of the summer. Investment-wise, maybe closer to the end of the year, kind of may depend on what my tax guy says. So I may need to pull something further.
Depending on those numbers. Yeah,
pretty much.
Well, you're a finance guy. I'm sure you have it calculated already. You just need his to match yours.
No, I pay him to do that, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saving my math for other things. And I'm not very good at saving receipts. So he has full access to go in, like admin access to look at all my accounts and all that good stuff.
Got it.
Like, that costs extra. I'm like, good. I'm good paying you because I'm not going to save these receipts, bro. I'm just letting you know, right?
So he does the bookkeeping for you too.
Yeah, every time I go to lunch with somebody, I'm not going to be like, I went to lunch with somebody.
I know. So when people take a picture of a receipt, I forget I have the picture. That's why I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with it. It's better to just pay the professional.
He's like, if you have a question, let me know. I'll let you know if it's a business expense or not. Otherwise, just assume it is, right? So,
Right. As long as alcohol isn't on the receipt or the charge, you're good. You're good.
I'm trying to find out how to run out my bourbon collection. He's done some, when I give it as a gift or something, right? I gave somebody a bottle, I guess it's 2 weeks ago. It was like $1,000 bottle of bourbon.
Wow.
Right. Well, and again, you can't necessarily write off $1,000 bottle of bourbon. It's a gift between friends.
Yeah.
Right. But he came to me from one of my bourbon groups, and that's like was big to him. So of course, I need to give him something special that I know he'd appreciate, and it was fine.
Yeah. Well, that's a dope gift to receive.
$700,000 house, man.
Very true. He earned it.
Yeah.
He earned it.
Which I sold him originally, and I sold his other house. So it's the third house I've done for him.
Oh, wow. So you have a lot of repeat business with your clients.
I'm sorry. Yeah, definitely. After 4 years, they're coming back around.
That's awesome. That's good. The hardest thing is to get that first sale, but I think the second sale is always easier than the first sale.
Well, so for new agents, I've given this advice before, is you go through and you become an agent. Everybody says, you need to nurture, drip on your sphere of influence, and you reach out to all of them, and you do. But I didn't expect any of them to buy with me. They all knew it was my first sale. Nobody wanted to be the guinea pig, right? They're like, I like you. I know you're good at contracts. I know you're good at math. I don't know you're good at real estate. You haven't sold anything yet. So I actually found it better to find people I didn't know who didn't realize it was the first sale until they got through enough of the process to be like, oh, really?
As long as you're confident, people won't question you.
And well, then after about 5, 6, 7 sales, whatever, then all of a sudden the people who already liked and loved you are coming around going, okay, you do know what you're doing.
Okay.
So you're all right.
Okay.
So now they reach out randomly, had somebody reach out earlier in the week.
Mm-hmm.
Just hadn't talked to him in probably 2 years. Like, hey, dude. I'm like, I got you. Let's go. Right?
So what are your clients like? Are most of them like all San Antonio vets, or are they coming from out of state and want to downsize?
It varies.
What are you seeing in the market based on your clients?
Based on my clients, most are San Antonio natives already. I've sold several to people from out of state. I've got one person moving from North Carolina here right now.
Wow.
They're selling their condo out there and they're under contract to buy a house here. And I got that through one of my sphere of influence people for my barbershop, actually, which I love my barbershop. It's freaking awesome. I'll plug for the gents place, just saying. But met him there. He's an active military, which being a disabled vet, built a bond, of course. Love a bourbon for both of us. But he referred to his mom, who's an absolute sweetheart. And they're going to be here next month, actually, and close on their house.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's exciting.
But then some from California, whether it be like a Zillow lead or somebody like that. And then most of the people who are local are probably associated with the car business or something. Some I've met, over all my years doing that, who trust me with their money. So kind of helps,
Trust is the key word.
To keep a good reputation, a very hard industry, which it is a hard industry. Those guys, they put in so much work that people don't realize or understand. And so much stress every day. That's pretty impressive. But to keep a good reputation that whole time, definitely just paid off. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Your reputation is always going to take you far. So that's good that you have that.
It's one thing you can't pay for.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, someone knows you. So
exactly.
It's like, no matter how much you may lie on social media, someone knows you.
I mean, you do the right thing for 15 years, you mess up once, they remember that, not the 15 years.
I agree.
Be very careful.
I agree. It takes a lifetime to build and one time to mess it all up.
Yeah, take that to heart.
I do. I do too. Where do you see the market going in San Antonio?
Well, so for the rest of the summer, I think prices are going to actually go up a little bit for the rest of the summer. Starting to see more multiple offers, things like that. I mean, I put a listing on the market yesterday at 8:00. I've got 2 offers already, right? Mine is 160 grand. So I mean, it's a definite sweet spot.
Oh, right.
For a nice move-in ready house. But pretty much everything's selling fairly quickly right now. You hear more multiple offers come in on the right priced house, location, of course. And then interest rates are a little higher this week. Hopefully they'll drop if the market gets confidence that the government's actually going to raise this debt ceiling thing and be done with it, because they're got some volatility today. I think by the end of the year, rates will drop back down. Going into next year, it'll pick up even more, being an election year. They always make sure rates are good for election years, right? They're going to do whatever it takes. So San Antonio is just a stable place with all the military, the big companies, the people moving to Austin who can't afford to live in Austin.
Yep.
So they buy here and just commute to work once a week or telework, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So,
and then the people that come from California and go to Austin or come here and work in Austin, that hour and a half drive, they're already doing it in California. So they really don't care.
yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Like I've sold a couple of people. We've got a client coming now looking at houses over $1 million from California. They only have to go to work one day a week, like in person. So that drive one day a week isn't big. The rest of the time they're just on Zoom or telework or whatever their system is. So for them, the cost of living here is so much cheaper than there.
Yep. And I know you mentioned that a lot of people want to buy houses since they're working from home with offices. So is that what you're seeing since the pandemic, everyone working from home and trying to buy a home to accommodate them?
Well, and you're seeing even more and more like multiple offices or, an office and an additional bedroom to turn into an office because you have, two couples working or, however it works out, but multiple people working in the same house now.
That makes perfect sense. I think real estate in San Antonio is like one of the best cities, just cost wise. And the fact that the commute is just so close. Like in San Antonio, I'm sure even you as an agent, like you can probably knock out at least seven houses in one day.
Like, so it's funny, right? I'm going to be here today. My first showing today is at 5:15 when I'm free. And then I have 5 houses to show starting at 5:15.
Oh, wow.
Up 281, 60, outside 1604.
Mm-hmm. And is that for one client?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you should know that time, right?
It's just the worst hour to meet.
Well, they were talking about there. We don't know the traffic. I'm like, that was my free time anyways. But yeah, just kind of spin a little bit. You're like, well, let's go see it in traffic time.
Right. You're definitely not going to choose that house. Once you go from work to that first house, they're going to see the traffic.
Yeah. When I left today, I was like, I'll be home like 8 or 9 tonight. I'm like, huh? Trust me. It'll be like 8 or 9 tonight by the time I go. But
I think it's so much better than like the market of like Houston. Cause like in Houston, you might see like 3 houses in one day just from all the traffic you got to go through.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like that commute's completely different. That's why I was like, I appreciate San Antonio for the cost of living and distance wise.
And the traffic's really not that bad. I mean, there's certain areas, pockets that are heavy traffic, but really it's like an hour and a half of that pocket and it kind of frees up. Or there's a little construction that will eventually be done.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
But San Antonio traffic's really not that bad.
We're just very spoiled to where we're just like, man, what is that red line on the GPS? It's really like 4 minutes.
Exactly.
We're just very spoiled in San Antonio.
We see
It's
the red,
not
we're
bad.
like,
I know. Well, time to get on the access road.
Well, I mean, I bet a lot of people from California or Florida or just wherever, Atlanta, right? Atlanta's got some pretty good traffic, but have moved here and have commented about how much better it is. And we're at high traffic time. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, everybody around here is losing their mind, but like, this is nothing. This is great. So.
And where did you live previously before San Antonio?
Germany.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. When I got in the military sent me here to San Antonio. So I got out here and just stayed here. But right before that was in Germany.
Oh, okay. What was that like?
Awesome.
Every single person I know that's been to Germany loves it.
Good beer, good food, great people, easy to travel. I mean, it's great.
Did you get some good bourbon out there?
I wouldn't want to pay their taxes.
Oh, okay.
Because their taxes are out like 50% or something crazy. Because they have lots of good social programs and things. I wasn't into bourbon then. I only got into bourbon 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, wow. You have a great collection for 3 years.
Several people have been to bourbon a long time said the same thing. I'm like, dude, if I'm in, I'm all in. Whatever it is, I'm 100%.
All or nothing. That's a great attitude to have, though.
If you're not all in, why are you doing it? Right? Go do something else.
I agree. And I know you said you got into real estate, what was it, 2019?
Yeah, 2019.
And I know technology hasn't changed drastically since then. But do you use any artificial intelligence or like ChatGPT to help you in your business?
When you said that, and I was like, I don't know, I think it has. ChatGPT saved me. I'm a science math guy. I can speak for somebody from Texas. I can't write to save my life. I have no clue where a comma goes. I don't know how to spell my own name half the time. I'm horrible at anything English-wise, right? So ChatGPT and Grammarly both have made me look like I know what I'm doing as far as when I have to put it in writing. So those have changed a lot. I do use it.
Got it.
And then, YouTube's come a long ways in those 4 years, right? To me, or at least in my world, it has to get to know it and things. But technology is developing really fast.
I agree.
Embrace it. So, because if you don't, somebody else will.
I agree. It's like you literally have to keep up with the race.
Yeah.
Or just get left behind.
That's pretty much it. Some people are like, I'm not going to use that. I'm like, I am. More power to you. You do
right?
You.
Exactly.
So.
And do you get a lot of lead generation from you utilizing it?
I can't say I can attribute direct leads to like ChatGPT, right? Because I'm probably not using it to its fullest extent. I'm using it mostly to help write a listing description or help write social media posts, things like that.
That's smart to use it for a listing.
Yeah, well, I mean, you definitely need to read through it because it's not always accurate. It gets you like 80% of the way there, but I can get the other 20%. I'm good, right? You got to be a heck of a start.
Right.
So,
as long as it's the facts of the house,
well, yeah, that's what you have to go and change. It's like, well, the one I just did, it said, this is a 1,200 square foot, 4-bedroom, blah, 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 or whatever it was, right? And I was like, no, it's like 872 square foot, 2-bedroom. It's trust but verify.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. What do you think the future of the real estate industry will be?
In relation to that?
No, not in relation to.
I was like, oh,
you're like virtual. Do you think that it'll cut out an agent?
Let's hope. Well, no. Yeah, I actually thought that through the other day, right? As far as like, you could have it kind of like an open door thing, right? They go on the app, they all see all the stuff about it. You can open the door themselves, things like that. But I think people still, just like the car business has always been worried about the salesman like going away.
Yeah.
I think people still like people. They like that personal touch. They like to know things that, the AI is not going to tell them, or, the other side, like, hey dude, check it out. Right. And just tell them the little facts that a computer's not going to be able to ever do. So I think we'll always be there for that.
I agree. That's always my answer too. Because a lot of people like doing old school business. So they want that person. They want to shake hands.
Exactly. And it's like when you meet a client, right? You can talk to them on the phone. I'm comfortable with that. You can meet them on Zoom. I'm comfortable with that. But there's nothing like meeting them in person. Yeah. There's just like when you see a house, houses have vibes. People have vibes. Yeah. Right? Yeah. You gotta get the feeling of it. And humans are so intuitive and intelligent. It's hardwired in our subconscious to be able to read the little signs and things that you're not going to get through Zoom. You're not going to get on the phone, right? You're only going to be able to see it like face to face, eye to eye.
Yep. I agree. Do you have any mentors that you look up to?
So a good friend of mine, Tammy Price, right? She's always answered questions for me. She's with Real. But she's an amazing person. She really is. A little shout out to Tammy. Love you.
The heart.
Yeah, exactly. Got 2 girls. She's cool. I've always, been friends with her. And then, there's different agents. I've had a good reputation or relationship with almost every agent. Because again, when you realize that this is what you're going to do long-term.
Yes.
You might win this battle by pissing this agent off. You're going to look like a hero to your client. But every other client you ever deal with that agent, you're going to have a problem.
Yep.
So do your job, do it well, but don't do it by making the other agent mad. Not if you're going to do this long-term. They'll remember, dude, right? I'd much rather go in with, hey, let's just work it out. We all have the same goal, right? As long as my clients are getting what they need, what they want, dude, you don't have to be a word I shouldn't use about it. You know what I mean? So
I agree. Me coming from customer service, I think that gave me like an advantage in real estate because I see that I meet some people that are just so into sales. They just care about the sale. They don't ask how your day is. They don't even greet you in the text message. It's just like, where's the lockbox or, something. I'm like, good morning. Like
all the time.
I think those little things help tremendously whenever you can give someone kindness or just, mannerism.
Yeah, help their day. It doesn't hurt your day to help their day.
Exactly. I'm like, why would you be rude? Like, you're going to make everything else so much more difficult for no reason.
Exactly. Or, I'll call and I'll start being nice. Same thing. I'm pretty empathetic. Like, I understand that everybody's got a bad day. You don't know what they're doing in the world. They could be juggling 5 bags of groceries, answer on their headset. You don't know, right? Sometimes you go and you're like, hey, how's it going? Like, get to the point. I'm like, I'm just letting you know the gate code's not there. You have it? Trying to show your house. Just saying. But,
reaching out to be polite over your mess
I'm Chris Beal, by the way. How's it going? So,
but
I don't take offense by them. Yeah. Now if they continue it on through the whole process, but okay, here's my head.
Because some people honestly are not intentional. They just don't think to, you know what I mean? They don't just think to be a little polite.
Or then you meet them in person, they're the nicest person ever. You're kind of
I agree. Yeah. They just treat you like another person. Yeah. They just treat you like another number until you meet them and they're like, oh, hey. And that changes everything. That's again why it's good to meet in person. It's like you meet in a whole different person versus the online version or the digital version. So I love that. I have a random question for you. If you had $0 and you needed to make $100,000 in 60 days, what would you do? If you only had a cell phone as a resource.
Okay. And the bill's paid for the whole 60 days, right? I'm just checking because I got no money, right? I'm not behind on the thing.
Correct. Bills don't count.
Oh, God. God's honest truth? I'd probably flip bourbon.
Oh,
I mean, you asked me.
you already have.
I'd probably flip bourbon, I guess.
That's honestly a very logical thing. You have the whole collection.
Yeah, well, I mean, besides, assuming I didn't even have that, right?
Oh,
I was like, I can buy low and sell high. Mind you, I don't have any money. I get it, but I can buy on credit. I know the people well enough. Other than that, I mean, God, to make $100,000 in 60 days
how would you
in
generate?
real estate,
Yeah.
right? Man, you better go pound the pavement, bro. I mean, well, all right. The fastest I've ever closed a deal from the time we went under contract. All right, we listed on a Thursday, multiple offers. We accepted an offer on Monday, right? We closed that Friday.
Wow.
I know, that's pretty quick.
Is that a cash?
Oh, of course. Yeah. But cash, no HOA docs, no inspection, no nothing. I was like, give me my money. Right.
Was that like the peak
of
the
listing
pandemic?
side. No, it was like 5 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe 6.
That is super quick.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, right? So even I was madly impressed. With I say myself, but I was on the listing side. Yeah, I negotiated it, but the buyer's agent had the buyer who was capable of that. So mad props to them.
Wow.
But I mean, what are the odds of finding that?
I know.
I wouldn't bet that I'm going to make $100,000 on that scenario. Finding enough of those to add up.
Yeah.
And God, the best thing you do is just go out and talk to everybody you know. Be out in the world. Just be out in the world. I mean, you can talk to people on the phone, but even when you're cold calling or doing that, that's typically a longer term game to me. To build the trust, to be all that. I just get out in the world and say hi to everybody I could. It's the only game plan I'd have. I don't know.
Well, you have a very energetic spirit, so I'm sure that already draws people to you, like an easy lead generation when you go somewhere. There's, hey,
the conversation, Conversation normally comes up, what do you do, or this or that.
Yeah.
It's kind of an American thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in America is like, what do you do? And what they're really trying to say is how much money do you make?
True.
That's what they're after.
True. People do treat you differently when they find out what you do.
Yeah. In Europe, you never see anybody ask, what do you do? And just hardly ever do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different culture, but in America, in sales, it benefits because you get to talk about it. Let's talk about what I do. What do you do? Great. How does that work out?
Does that, is it ever a conversation starter with any of the watches that you collect?
Every once in a while it is. Yeah. Every once in a while I'll be wearing something that, I was wearing a watch the other day, actually, and it was a Richard Mille, right? And I was wearing it and I'm driving a rental right now. The little red truck you saw is a rental car. My car's in the shop. It's a Tesla Model S. It's been in the shop forever because they take forever to fix. Body shop. But I'm driving, I'm wearing a Richard Mille and the guy honks. And I don't think much about it. We're in a traffic light and he honks again. His wife is all like, are you right?
Wow.
And I'm looking, I'm like, how the heck did you even see that? I've worn this watch for like 6 weeks. Nobody's noticed what it was, right? Because it looks like a nice fossil. And he pulls over and wants to see the watch, give him a card. Hey, I'm in real estate if you ever need something. I haven't gotten a call yet, but I'm still hopeful, right? He knows I like watches. So but that was like probably the most random thing that happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a new lead. Hopefully. Is there any?
He's driving a nice Mercedes. So.
Okay. Did he have a watch on that you liked?
Honestly, it was so fast. I'm an ass. I didn't even look, right? So, because he was in the driver's seat. We're talking over, so I couldn't really see his wrist as well.
Yeah, got it. I mean, if he calls you, you'll see his watch. So
exactly.
There's that. Is there any watch that you have like on your to-buy list?
Yes.
Is this a dream watch of yours?
There's 2.
Okay, what are those?
Okay, they're a little bougie, but
just
it's a dream list, right? I can dream whatever I want.
Exactly. It should be bougie.
Yeah. So a platinum day date with baguette diamonds, or probably a Patek Philippe Nautilus would be nice.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it's a pretty watch.
What's the price range for those?
Probably 100 to 120 grand each.
Okay. Wow.
So,
wow. Yeah, it's
I'm
a dream
big,
watch.
right?
I know. I said dream watch. The dream should be big. If it's reachable, you shouldn't dream about it. Just to wrap up our conversation, I have a question to ask for you again. Random question. If you were to speak to your 80-year-old self, what would you tell 80-year-old Chris?
Why didn't you just move to the Philippines, dude? I mean, you just take the family, right? Once the kids out of school, move to the Philippines.
You had this answer ready.
Oh, dude, I've watched 1 or 2 YouTube videos about, can I live on a catamaran? I mean, you only live once, right? The travel, the adventure part, right? So, just don't wait on things, right? Do things, when you think about them, quit planning so much and just do things sometimes. I wish I would have gotten into real estate 10 years earlier, but at the same time was I ready to get into real estate 10 years earlier.
I say the same thing.
Everything happens for a reason.
Right? I feel like all timing is right timing.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't as experienced, didn't have the network. I might have got 10 years ago without that sphere of influence, right? That came around trusting me. That I wouldn't have had at that point, right? Or the abilities, to negotiate, to help people, working at Lexus for 10 years. Lexus is a great brand. Love Lexus. But customer service is what they're really known for, right? And that's translated a lot into my real estate career. It's just being able to help people and be truly caring about what's good for them and knowing that everything will work out if you help them. So
it's not all about the sale. It's about taking care of the person as well. So I agree. What would 80-year-old Chris tell you today?
80-year-old Chris tell me today, see the world, my man, right? Do it all,
Take your motorcycle.
Yeah. Well, I want to go do the scuba dive the Great Barrier Reef with my daughter. She's 14.
Oh, wow.
When she was 10, I had her go get her scuba diving license. She fought me like crazy.
I didn't even know that you could get it at 10. Wow.
Yeah, you can get open water license at 10.
Wow.
So she's been down about 60 feet. Nothing crazy, but pretty deep for 10.
That's very deep.
Yeah. But, for her, I try and give her all the experiences I didn't have. So I think maybe herself would be like, hey, make sure Emma's as worldly as you can be before you put her out in the world. So,
do you think Emma's going to get into real estate?
Not according to her.
Okay.
But again, 14-year-old daughter, doesn't want to do anything daddy does.
True,
right?
true.
Well, I'm hoping she comes around maybe, right? She wants to move to New York City and
Oh, wow.
she has dreams of New York. So,
Aww. Yeah. Does she want to be in fashion or design or anything? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the best place to go.
Design, yeah.
There you go. Daddy can fund it.
Yeah, we've taken her there a couple of times for Christmas, things like that. She wants to go again this summer. I don't know if we'll make it, but she just wants to go to summer and see it in summer.
Aww.
Part of me is like, I told my wife, I was like, why don't we find the worst Airbnb we can find? Like the absolute worst Airbnb, right? We'll stay there for a week so she can see what it'll be like when she's living there poor. So.
Right. You got to put her out there on a budget first. Inspire her to work for more money.
Exactly.
Or maybe she can get a real estate license as backup.
There you go.
But I have enjoyed speaking to you on our episode 7 so much today. So, well, thank you again for joining us for episode 7 on the Chronicles REI edition. I'm your host, Ayla Melendez, aka Real Estate, and this is Chris Beal. And how will we be able to reach out to you on social media, personal number?
Yeah, so my website's www.gobealgroup, GOBEALGROUP.com. Same as my YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, they're all under the same, so pretty easy. But reach out anytime. If you need my number, Google, it's there, right? It's out there in the world like every agent should be. So,
well, thank you so much for that. And hopefully a few people will reach out to you to sell a home or do some business with you.
I'm here for you guys.
Thank you so much.